Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to dive deep into something that's been on my mind lately, and that is the importance of being flexible. Unexpected things happen in our life, and sometimes those perfectly laid out plans needs a little bit of tweaking, and that is totally fine. Adjusting our routines based on the different stages or phases of our lives is not only normal, but it is necessary. The key is these changes, even if it's just a little bit, will help you move forward and not hold you back. And the reason why this has been on my mind lately is because of a lot of things that had happened. Subhanallah, I guess every month there's something that's going on. And even though I've built up this routine, I have created my goals for this month, sometimes things get bumped up higher or maybe lower or deprioritized, and I have to adjust again and again. Sometimes it also feels tiring and frustrating to keep doing this. But I realized that being flexible is the key to overcome all these sudden changes that happens in life. For example, when I went on a trip, I went back to Philippines, or maybe when we went for a vacation, of course, the daily routine has to be out of the window because it's vacation time, or I'm in a different place. But as soon as I come back home and I wanted to go back into my routine, that is where the struggle is. The more that I force myself to go back into my usual routine, the more it is harder for me to get back on track. So over time, I realized, hey, it's okay. Because of these disruptions that happen, the best thing that I can do is adapt to it. You might also be experiencing this when suddenly you have a huge workload that you need to do because maybe someone left the company, or maybe your boss have promoted you, or things like that. Additional workload. And the routine that you used to do will not work for you anymore. So having that flexibility is really, really helpful in this type of situations. Another thing is, of course, when you go into different stages of life. So, for example, if you're single and then you're going to get married, that's a transition. And of course, your daily routine is also going to change. Or, for example, you were a university student and then you applied for the job. Alhamdulillah, you got accepted. So, when you're working, your routine will definitely change. Also, you cannot be the same person as you're a student as you go into your first job. Yeah, definitely you have to adapt and change your routine and lifestyle so that you can be able to cope up with these transitions or changes in life. We all have to be careful not to fall into this trap of all or nothing mindset. This mindset where if you can't do something that is consistent or 100% perfect, then you're a complete failure. But here's the thing, it's all about progress and not perfection. Adjusting your routine and being flexible doesn't mean that you're giving up. It just means that you're adapting to the circumstances or situation so that you can move forward. Being flexible is actually a very important skill. It helps you to keep on track, especially when things happen unexpectedly. And this is what is constant in life, isn't it? Something happens, we get derailed from our track or we get distracted. That's out of our control. The only thing that we can do is how are we going to respond to that situation. So today, I want to share some pointers on how to implement flexibility and finding that right balance to being adaptable, but you are still aligned with your goals. First tip, stay true to your core goals. It's important that you know your future goals or you have that end in mind because it's going to be a long journey and many things will happen along the way. But as long as you're clear on your destination or where are you going, then no matter what life throws at you, you're going to stay on track. Maybe you're going to make some detours, or maybe you're going to take a left turn or right turn or whatever that is. But at least you know that you're leading into that main goal. Think of it like a GPS. or maybe ways. Your route may change due to the traffic flows, or maybe there's an accident. And so the GPS or ways will tell you to go this way or go the other way. But ultimately, at the end, you will reach your destination. So that is how flexibility looks like. You're still aligned with your ultimate goal, but you can take turns or you can do some other things along the way, inshallah. In the end, you are still gonna make it. Tip number two, set a review period. Now, when we talk about flexibility, we don't want to keep on changing our minds. That is being undecisive. Okay. It's totally different. Instead of frequently changing your routines based on a whim, try specific time to review your progress. Now, it could be weekly, monthly, or quarterly. Look at the things that are working out for you and look at those things that did not work out. And then from there, you can adjust. So if you set regular reviews, inshallah, this approach will help you make an informed decision and not just an impulsive one. It can help you to just step back and look at everything, the positives and the negatives, and see what else you can tweak based on what you have experienced. In this way, you are not second guessing yourself. At least you're sure that, okay, this works for me, so I'm going to continue doing this. Or the other way around, okay, this did not work for me. I'll do something different so that I'll still be productive or I'll still be able to achieve my goals. Every time I feel like I'm in a slump or I feel burnt out or maybe I feel like I'm all over the place, whenever I do this review, alhamdulillah, I'm able to find my way back and I am able to remind myself that, hey, this is the goal that I'm reaching for. So, okay, let's start again. I'm willing to start from zero, for example, because I want to reset. And alhamdulillah, with that in mind, I know that I can adjust my strategy and I feel motivated to continue achieving my goals. Tip number four, implement small tweaks. Now, this is another powerful strategy. You don't always need a complete overhaul to do this process. You don't have to do a complete reset. You can just actually start with minor adjustments and see how this impacts your routine. This approach allows you to ease into these small changes without the feeling of overwhelmed, and you are still going to be on track with your goals. For example, for us women, we have this monthly period. And of course, our mood changes and sometimes our energies get affected. So, ideally, I would like to do exercise in the morning, but I don't feel like it whenever this time of the month comes. So, I adjusted a little bit. I give myself some time in the morning to just chill and just relax and have a slow morning. And then later in the afternoon, I can go outside and walk. And that's the exercise for me, as long as I keep my body moving. So those are the small changes that you can do in your routine. Depends on, again, the phase of your life or the timings, especially for women, the time of the month. So adjust it a little bit so that you can still be consistent with that routine that you want to establish. Tip number five, listen to yourself. Flexibility is the key, but it's also important to not to bend too far. Listen to your body. Pay attention to what it needs. Maybe today you really need a rest. So take a rest. Take a day off, relax, do some other things, and then the next day, come back to your routine. Being flexible doesn't mean that you have to give up entirely on that discipline, but you just have to find a harmonious balance between these two. I remember one advice that I pick up from Atomic Habits. If you want to build a routine, of course, you have to be consistent every day. But if there's a one day that you really need a break, take that break and then come back to it the next day. As long as you don't keep breaking the cycle for, I guess, more than 3 days, it's going to be easier for you to come back to it and you're going to be consistent on that moving forward. That's one thing that I always keep in mind. For example, I have a lot of work to do and I don't have the time to exercise for 1 hour. So I tweak it a little bit and I tell myself, I'm just going to do 15 minutes, for example. So at least I'm still able to exercise, but not as intensive as what I wanted. What's important is that I still manage to do it. And so that's how I try to balance the flexibility and staying disciplined with my routine. And how to find that right balance is that as long as it helps you move forward towards your goal, then you are right on track. But if you feel that it's actually preventing you or you feel stuck with it, so it's time to just step back from it and then review your options. Find out what's going on also. Maybe there is something that's on your mind that you haven't really paid attention to or you haven't addressed. Maybe it's another issue. So going back to the tip, pay attention on what's going on inside your mind, inside your body. If you feel sick, then it's totally fine to take care of yourself first. One last thing that I would like to share about flexibility is that it helped me through different stages or phases in my life. Sometimes I say, okay, I'm gonna do this thing every Mondays. So Alhamdulillah, week after week, I'm able to do it every Monday. But somehow life happens and I skip once and twice. And I told myself, okay, this is not working. I try to get back to it, but it seems like it's a lot of effort for me. And I noticed that one big difference from before and the time that I was struggling is that my life situation had changed. So like there's an external factor that had actually affected it, and I realized, okay, it's fine if I say I'm not gonna do it every Monday anymore. So maybe you feel this something like, oh no, I commit myself that I want to do this time and date. But as you go along life, things change, things happen. It might not work out. It may not be applicable to you anymore. So it's totally fine. You can change it. No one's going to find you if you don't continue doing it. It's just that you're putting more pressure on yourself. Change the plan, change the routine. If it's good for you, it's beneficial for you, and it works out to the life situation that you are in right now, then go ahead with it. Let us not be too rigid, too constricted with, oh, this is what I need to do. And, we limit ourselves from, these walls that we put around us is actually suffocating if you try to do that. So being flexible, opening up yourself to opportunities, possibilities. Yeah, why not? I will try this way. Maybe it works out for me. For example, in exercise, you tried running one time, you did not like it. So maybe try different exercise, right? Being flexible. Inshallah, this is something that's gonna be helpful for you and will also allow you to be successful in life. Being flexible is all about adapting with the right intention. It's not about you keep changing your mind or you keep changing your goals just on a whim. Like today you want to do this, then tomorrow, oh, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore. That is not flexibility. But flexibility is allowing some room for life's unexpected events or the ebbs and flows. These things happen all the time, right? Even though we plan everything in life, other things might happen, by the will of Allah. In order for us to stay on track with our ultimate goal, with the end in mind, this skill, flexibility, is going to help you to achieve your goals. So the next time that you feel that, oh, maybe I need to adjust, remember, it's totally fine. You are not failing. It's not a sign of failure. You're just finding a new way or new strategy to move forward. And that is exactly what growth is all about. You keep on discovering something about yourself, you enter different stages in life, and then from there, you adapt to it. All right, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you find this episode very helpful, share it with someone who might need this reminder. And as always, stay tuned for more tips and conversations like this to help you in your life's journey. Until next time, take care and keep moving forward one step at a time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.